Hey y'all, what's going on? This is Jesse Bell from the 19th hole, and it's Tuesday, so that means it is tournament announcement time. I know last week we were talking a lot about what we expected this week, and some of us thought maybe a mini and a major. Well, it turns out it is neither of those. It's just going to be a regular style tournament, and that's okay. At least we do have a tournament. I do want to point out though that below me, as you can see, this is my social media connections. So if you do have any of those social media outlets and you want to connect to me through them, definitely feel free to do so. Also check us out on Facebook. You just go to your search bar and type in Golf Clash, the 19th hole, and you can find my community page that way. So this is what we have, the East Coast Tournament, and it's going to start on Monday, November 11th, and which will be next Monday. So that is our next tournament coming up here. And it's going to take place on the Southern Pines and the City Park holes. And we'll get a little bit more into that here, a little bit more into the video. These are the four divisions that you can play from: Rookie, Pro, Expert, Masters. What you see here is the top prizes that you can win if you make it to the weekend round, and you get you a gold banner. The prizes will scale down from what you see here. And as long as you make it to the weekend round, you do get a prize chest. So definitely keep that in mind. Another thing to keep in mind is that when you're playing the tournament, if you do win a hole like in qualification, opening, or weekend round, you are awarded tour chests, just like you would be awarded in tour play. So if you're playing the rookie and you win, you get a Tour 3 chest. If you're playing in Pro, Tour 6, Expert, Tour 9, Masters, Tour 12. So, those chests can definitely add up along the way while you're playing the tournament. So definitely keep that in mind and take that into consideration when you are deciding what of these divisions that you do want to play. So if you want to play in the Pro tournament, you have to be at least in Pro Weekly League or above. If you're only a Rookie Weekly League, then you only get to play in the Rookie. So definitely take that into consideration as well when you are promoting through your weekly leagues. If you want to play in a higher tournament, then you got to promote to a higher league. If you're an Expert Weekly League, you have the option to play either Expert, Pro, or Rookie, but also you have to remember that just because you play Rookie, even though you're in an Expert Weekly League, you're not going to be matched up with other Rookie Weekly League players. You're going to be matched up with people from your same league. So if you play Rookie and you're an Expert Weekly, you'll play other Expert Weekly Rookie players as well. These are the rules for the tournament. Each division has their own set of rules. As you can see, the tee positions do change depending on what division you play in. Rookie plays from the first tee, Pro, Expert play from the second tee, and then Masters play from the third tee. The next thing we look at are the wind strengths, and the winds do change strength-wise as you go up into higher divisions. Needle speed also increases depending on what division you play. And if you play in the Masters division, you have a plus 50% additional needle speed on your shots. Expert and Masters have the hidden spin feature, and basically what that means is when you're playing your opponent, you will not be able to see their spins that they use or their ball guide position. So, if you're playing in Rookie and Pro, you still will be able to see those. So definitely keep that in mind as well. So this is what it looks like hole-wise for the tournament. As I mentioned earlier, we have Southern Pines and City Park holes, and basically all they did was they took these two courses and they combined these holes. It's still going to be the same as far as par 5s, par 4s, and par 3s goes. You have 3 of each of those. So that has not changed, and that will always be the same when they are putting together courses. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go and look at these holes one by one, and we're just going to talk about these very briefly. We're not going to get into too much detail about them. We're just going to talk about maybe some landing positions and some elevation, adjustments for these holes. And then later in the week, I'll put out a Rookie and then a Pro Expert guide. And in that video, I'll actually go into a little bit more detail as far as the shot selection, balls, clubs, and that kind of good stuff. So definitely, if you plan to play one of those 3 divisions, definitely be on the lookout for those videos, and we'll definitely get a little bit more in depth when it comes to these holes, and maybe some of the spins and stuff like that to be looking for when you are playing these holes. So, all right, give me one moment, and we are going to start on the brief little guide of these holes. All right, so really quick here, let me tell you where you can find these holes to play. If you want to play the Southern Pine holes, you can find them on Tour 6 and Tour 9. For the City Park, you can find those on Tour 6 and Tour 11. So those will be in play on Thursday. For whatever of the tours don't already have these holes in play. I know Southern Pines is already on Tour 9, so I'm not sure about the other ones though. So if you're playing from the first tee, Tour 6 is going to be your place to play and practice for sure. Alright, let's go ahead and move on. We'll talk about these holes real quick. I'm going to tell you where you can find these holes as far as other tournaments. So if you want to go back and watch content from streamers, then you know what tournaments to go back and watch. And I'm just going to give you the first few from the most recent tournaments that these holes have been in. So hole number 1 here is par 4, and you can find this one on the Southern Pines 9-hole Cup and also the Spring Major Tournament. So if you ever want to go find this content, you just go to like my YouTube channel, or any other streamer's YouTube channel for that matter. If you go into their individual search, you can just type in the tournament name. As long as they use that tournament in their title, you'll be able to pull up all of their content. So, alright, so this is a par 4 here. Off the tee box, it's going to be plus 10%. And then for the second shot, it's going to be plus 10% no matter what you are, no matter where you are at. You can either play your shot up the left-hand side here and try to take yourself up here to this shadow area. I think that's a pretty good landing location. With different type of winds, it may not be quite as far. The other option with a good wind is going to be a hook shot here, or a curl shot here, where you bounce off the fairway and up this right side. I think the shot to the right hand side is going to give you the best second shot to the green with the wood. If you play it to the left hand side, you can either play for the rough bump there, or play a backspin, left spin shot right here off this fairway back towards the hole. So those are basically going to be your two ways to play this hole. And depending on what kind of wind we have will definitely determine the way that's easiest and best to play. If we have like a left to right wind, or like a tailwind, playing to that right side may be the best way to play it. But if we have some sort of really crazy headwind or side wind that's like right to left, then playing it to the left may be the best way to play that hole. But plus 10% for the elevations. Hole number 2 here, you can find this one on the Southern Pines 9-hole Cup, and then the next recent tournament from that was the Platinum Resorts Tournament. So plus 10% here on this drive, and you're either going to be playing this one with the wood or a driver. You'll only use a driver though probably in pro and up with a headwind. In rookie, you'll be using a wood club no matter what. So big dog, viper, or sniper. The landing zone is going to be in this area right here, and this green does slope back down towards the hole. So you want to play a shot where you take it up the hill and then let it roll back down towards the hole. I think we need to go a little bit farther up the hill than I just showed right there. Yeah, you need to go a little bit farther up the hill and then get that momentum back down to the hole. If you go too far up into that hill, your ball will filter farther to the right edge of that green. But if you get it just right, you can get the ace on this hole for sure. As far as the wood club goes, if you're playing with the wood, you're just going to use a little bit of top spin and right spin, max right spin. If you're going to use a driver, then you're going to use a little bit of backspin and max right spin as well. And then also be sure to play your curls as they are needed on this hole. Hole number 3. This one can be found on the Festive Cup Tournament and at New York Tournament. And this is City Park hole. All of these holes, if you're wondering what other tournaments these holes have been played on, if you go to golfclashnotebook.io and you click on the actual courses, you can go into each individual hole, you scroll all the way to the bottom, and then you can actually see all the different tournaments that these holes have been played in. So if you're just looking for that information, that's where you would go for that. So this one right here is par 5. If you're playing the rookie here, your options are limited. If you're playing the rookie, get that off here. You're playing your shot up to the front here, off the tee box, plus 10%. For your second shot, plus 10% with a wood club up this fairway. You're trying to get as close to the front edge of that bunker as possible without going in. And then your third shot is going to be a minus 10% because we are going uphill to this green with a short iron or a long iron. You have two options there. You can play the shot right at the hole, or you can try to play the slope. The back of that green does slope back severely to the hole, and you can maybe try to find the funnel that way back to the hole. Higher level divisions, you can possibly make the jump off that first fairway to this next fairway right there. If you are able to do that, you can skip this second shot and you would just play a straight minus 10% on your second shot, because you would try and be landing your shot here in this fairway here with like a high level Cataclysm, Big Dog, or Max Guardian, and trying to go straight to the green here on that shot. So that was hole 3. Hole number 4, you can play this one, find this one in the Voyager tournament, the Festive Cup, and then New York were the 3 most recent tournaments for this hole right here. So plus 10% for the drive, and you can either play the shot bouncing it right here or up here. Both shots are going to take you to about the same location, and you really want to end up into this zone right here, no matter which way you play the shot. If you play it to the right or you play it to the left. Those are basically your options on that hole. For your second shot, it's somewhere between 0 and plus 10. I've seen it played both ways. So definitely, keep that in mind. I think I've always played it at plus 10% though, for the second shot. And you're playing it to the front edge of the screen right here, and just trying to figure out those spins and those spin adjustments for that second shot. That's a good hole for like the Hornet or the Thorn, hopefully. But possibly, you may be out of short iron range and you'd have to use the long iron. So for the rookies, like the Backbone, good accuracy and a little bit of backspin, and then either the Goliath or the B52 in higher level divisions would be a good club to use there. Hole number 5, plus 10% on this shot right here. And you have different options. You can either play the shot off the front edge of the green, you can play it back here to the left off the fairway, where you kind of just bounce it right over the edge of that rough line and that fringe, and then roll it to the hole. This middle shot will be with a lot of backspin straight at the hole. And then in lower level divisions, you can play a shot off the front right edge of this green, and then play a lot of backspin and left spin. And you play the shot kind of off this slope here, and then let it funnel back down to the hole that way. And so those are your options right there for this hole. I would say for the rookie, you're either going to be using the middle or the right option, and then for the pro expert, you're going to be using the option over here, most likely to the left-hand side. Plus 10% for the drive. Hole 6, plus 10% for the first shot, and then plus 10% for the second shot, no matter where you're at. So your options are either straight here, get as far up to the front right of that fairway as possible, and then you have a wood, long wood, so like the Big Dog or the Cataclysm, towards the green with topspin and right spin. And that would be one way to play it. That's more the conservative approach, and definitely you want that tailwind at your back for that second shot, no doubt. There's also a power curl shot here that you can play around these trees, where you bounce in this fairway and then you shoot straight up that fairway. You're really trying to get as far up this fairway as you can in order to have a straight on second shot at the hole that way. The other option is play it to the right hand side with some right curl. You'll bounce off this fairway here with a lot of topspin and hopefully roll out here into this fairway right here. From there you would have a second shot at the green from that location. I would play plus 10% on all those second shots, and definitely plus 10% off the tee box for the drive. Hole 7, plus 10%. And you have options either to play your shot to the left or to the right. off this first tee. From here, you'll bounce there over the bunkers. You'll hit on the edge of this fringe, and then hopefully roll towards the hole that way. Your other option is to play it to the right-hand side, where you bounce here off this fairway, and you're going to use a little bit of left spin and either a little bit of backspin or a little bit of topspin to hit on this fairway here, and then roll up towards the green that way. If you're playing from the back tees, the second tees, I guess even you could play this from the first tee if you have a developed enough driver. You want a driver with backspin because you will be landing your shot right here on the front edge of the green. And with right spin and backspin, you're going to play that slope right there and then back down to the hole. And that is definitely an option to play. I think that's probably what you'll see a lot of people play on this hole in higher level divisions, especially if they have like upper level Thor, or if you have a tailwind, you could go at that one with the quarterback. Would definitely be a great option. Even possibly a rocket could be played there on that hole as well. Plus 10%. All right, hole 8. Plus 10% off the tee box. Your goal is to get here. Your goal is to get there, no matter how you play the shot. Some people you will see play it, especially from the front tee. You can play a shot over this way. From the second tee, you can play a shot back here, and from here you can roll it a little bit farther to about this area right here. And there's also a power curl shot you can play, where you hit here and then you roll up to this farthest circle area. If you have a nice tailwind in the higher divisions, it is definitely possible to get even farther up the fairway, and if you hit just right, even get to the end of that fairway. So that's definitely an option. Now for the second shot, it's going to be a plus 10%. If you can get far enough up on the drive, you can go with the sniper, but most likely you're going to have to use a big dog for this shot, especially from the first tee. And the way that you're going to play it is you're going to play it off this fairway right here. You'll bounce it up onto this slope. It is a downward slope from the green. And then hopefully you can roll it towards the hole that way. If you don't hit it just correct, the ball will hit that slope. It could possibly roll back down into the bunker or the sand right there. So definitely keep that in mind, and that's not something that we want to do. So there is a possibility on this hole for a rough bump. If on your drive you get far enough up here, maybe in the higher level divisions, you can go for a rough bump right here. We played it last tournament, and a few of us did actually hit the shot. So it is a possibility if you are playing in higher level divisions to play that shot. The tricky part is figuring out the spin, because you're hitting on the slope, so the ball does tend to kind of kick a little bit more than it normally would on the rough bump. So the trick for that shot is figuring out the correct adjustment and offset on the shot. So, all right, we'll move on. Hole number 8, our last and final hole, or hole number 9, our last and final hole. This is definitely a fun hole that I've always enjoyed. You can play plus 5% off the tee box. Your landing zone is right here. You're going to cut over this rough line. You're going to bounce here and then try to roll up this fairway as far as possible. That is the most common way to play this hole. You can also play the hole straight to the left as well, and it's a little bit more of a conservative approach. But you really want to play to the right side because you want to go for the albatross chance. So from there you have the sniper, and you play that at minus 10% for the second shot. You play it off this little island right here, over the sand in the rough, and then hopefully you can roll it in for the albatross right there. If you're playing it from the far up left area, you can also play the shot off this island right here possibly, if you have the correct wind, or from here you can play the shot over to this zone right here for a short little chip in towards the hole. But you take yourself out of albatross contention by doing that. So you'll see a very high percentage majority of the people playing this shot to the right side and not safely to the left side. So anyways, that is a quick little look at these holes 1 through 9. Hopefully y'all can get out and practice these a little bit at the end of this week and this weekend. And hopefully y'all will be nice and prepared for the tournament starting on Monday. All right, y'all, thank you very much for hanging out. Once again, on Facebook, if you want to join the community page, you search for Golf Clash the 19th Hole. If you want to be alerted when I do release new videos or go live streaming, definitely make sure to check your settings for notifications for my channel. If you click on the little bell, it should allow you to customize those settings so that you will be properly alerted, hopefully. So, all right, y'all take care. Have a good day. God bless.